Welcome back to the Aftermatch with Kirsten Beeve, the Aftermatch bonus episode, our first ever guest on the program. We were waiting, Beeve. We were waiting to go big on the guest.
Oh, you got to make a splash.
There is no one bigger. Look, we've got no money to pay him, but he has decided off his own back to come on board today. Canberra's finest, Aussie's finest, Matt Giteau. Gits, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. How do we get Beeve into some of those budgie smugglers you've dropped today?
Oh, mate, it's gonna be tough. I think, but if anyone's going to help the profile, it's Beaver. We'll get him on. We need him in it.
I tell you what, Gits, Beaver's been a big fan. He pumps you up, and that Brumby side that you're a part of at the very beginning on this program so often. But your turn to get him back. When did you first encounter Beaver, and what were your first impressions?
I've been playing Beaver, I think, early on. I think even at when I was at the Brums, but I was at 12, even though Beaver was a 10, you knew that he was just going to come straight at me off the line out. 7-man, the first 3 7-mans, Beaver's carrying, and he's at me. He's trying to, I suppose, just, if you saw a small player like me, I'd run at me as well. But he was, what you probably don't know is when he carries, he's a bit of a grunter. There are a few times when you get in there, I remember like every tackle, the off chance that I actually made a tackle on him, you could hear him still leg driving, rah, rah. I was like, you right, mate? Like, he, no, it was good. Like, always good fun with Beebe. He's a great competitor. But then off the field, like, that's what I, obviously admire most is that he's just a good fella, like, you get along, you have a beer, we play bars together. We had a good time there.
We did.
I was telling that wasn't the tour that JK was in charge of, was it?
No, that was another one. JK was in charge. We had Nick Mallett actually.
Yeah, Mallett.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was telling Kirsten and our listeners early doors, I reckon the only time I've felt like I've absolutely been drowning out of my depth is early doors. Yourself was outside, Bernie. You had Griggs there at 9, Mortlock as a young fella, mate, playing in that back line. How good?
Oh, unbelievable. Like we would, especially the start of games, they kind of had their DNA, like the way the Brums used to play. Obviously flat attack where Griggs had hit Bernie flat. Sterlo would just be piercing hard line and he'd often stop 2 or 3 players. I just present out the back and it's basically a 3-on-1. Everyone's going, Gets, that was amazing what you did. So I was, and even then, when I'm coming around the outside, I've got Joe Roth telling me to square up where to play and how to pass. So, I was unbelievably lucky to come into that team so early on in my career and learn as much as I did off these guys. But it was also so nerve-wracking for me. Like training was just, I felt almost anxious at training as I did in games just because you didn't want to let these guys down and you wanted them to think, as high as possible of you as a player.
I'll tell you what, we've had some thoughts of who we wanted to get on the show, but getting you on Lions Week, Test 1 against Australia is fantastic considering, I reckon about 4 months ago, Beeve picked the Wallabies, all in on the Wallabies to win this series 2-1. What do you reckon? Is he a chance of pulling this thing off when the whole world doesn't believe so?
I've never heard someone speak more sense than Beaver. Every time he's got something to say. No, I think we got a good chance. I think the hard thing is that you've not really seen the best of both teams. Like I thought on the weekend that Anzac or the New Z NZ team probably didn't turn up like the way everyone was anticipating. We thought that would have been the hardest contest. So I don't know. It's kind of been hard to really see how the Lions are going to play against the Wallabies, but then also the Wallabies, no one knows how they're going to play. The way they played against Fiji is not the way that they're going to play against the Lions, I imagine. So I'm hoping it's 2-1 as well, but I am hoping that at least Lions get one of the first 2 or the Wallabies get one of the first 2 and it gets to a decider.
It gets you talking about the way that they're all going to play. I think obviously we've all been, pleasantly surprised that the Lions are throwing the ball around and scoring plenty of tries. Do you imagine that they'll go back to type come Test 1, sort of first half an hour, it'll be trying to go after the Aussie forwards, or do you reckon that they'll try and stay that route?
I don't know. You look at the personnel they've got. Like Finn Russell just loves to play footy. Like if he sees an opportunity, he's going to play. Like even if they like to play that structured style, I think their maul's obviously been impressive. Like their scrum against the Brumbies was like that was a lot of the boys had their roller skates on there for the Brums, but it was tough, but they still hung in there. It's hard to really pick how they're going to play because I don't know now with Ringrose getting injured. I would have thought that Bundy Archie would have started with Ringrose. They keep the Irish combinations, the Irish centres together. Now that Ringrose is out, Hugh Jones will probably start, which means probably Sione Tupulotu will come in. Keep that Scottish backline, and they like to play. They like to throw the ball around. I think with the backs that they've got, it suits them to play that style of rugby, and it suits us as well. So hopefully there'll be 3 cracking tests.
And you talked about Finn Russell. Who's going to be the Aussie 10, mate? The $1 million question since Noah's injury.
Yeah, it's tough. I think for me your first choice probably I'd go Ben Donaldson. I just like for me I like when Dono came on against Fiji. We were up against the pump. Like Fiji were taking it to us, and we got a penalty maybe 3 minutes to go, and we're behind. And he had a clearance kick, like tied on his sideline, rather than just being safe and just chipping off 10, 15 metres. He had a crack, picked up 30 metres, got into their half, just showed a lot of confidence coming off the bench. So I kind of like the way he attacks the line as well. With the lines, line speed that they bring, he's going to ask them questions just because he is a carry threat. So I kind of like that as well. And maybe James, bring him off the bench the last 20, similar role to what he had at the Crusaders that's how I'd probably play. But you've also got Tom Lino, he's a great young 10 as well. So it's just, I don't know. I just back the boys. Hopefully we will go well. Hopefully we don't win too well, 3-0. That'd be diabolical for the series. But
wouldn't that be embarrassing?
Yeah, I know, a bit embarrassing. Send them tail between their legs.
Just on James O'Connor, obviously gets called in first day at training. He looks like he's been in a scrap with Sonny Bill Williams or Paul Gallen. His face is like cut up to pieces. How intense are these internal trainings that they're doing?
Well, you'd suggest they're intense or he can't tackle. I don't know what's happening. You've always got those test match Tuesdays. Well, they used to be Tuesdays for me back in the day. I think Beavers would have been Tuesday as well, were you?
We were Tuesdays.
Yeah. I think now they're moving it closer to the games, like Thursdays. But yeah, they've got to be intense. Because they've only had one test, the way that you prepare yourself for that test intensity is obviously to train that way. And I think Joe Schmidt, he's a lovely bloke to interview and a lovely fella, to have a beer with or chat with. But once you get on that field, the boys are saying he's tough. So I think he's obviously going to lift the intensity of training and get the boys ready for that first test.
Joseph Sua'ali'i. Talk to us about Joseph Sua'ali'i. Is he going to set the series on fire or what?
He is, but it's not under 8s. So I think everyone just expects, I'll give you best player of the rugby ball and he'll just cut them up. It doesn't work that way. Everyone's talking about, even during the Waratahs, he did so many good things, small moments that you'd notice as a rugby player, but then it doesn't get the massive exposure that, on the papers. They just want the tries, the line breaks. But he's small little effort areas. I love the way he competes. Physicality, he likes that aspect of the game as well. So I think if we can use him right, he can be a huge weapon. I think against Fiji, we probably used him too much as a decoy runner, thinking that he's going to stop 10 players. But it didn't. There'd just be a couple of players that may check on him and then move off. So we just got to, I think, use him better. If we can hold on to the ball and create multiple phases where it's unstructured attack, that's when you'll see the best of Joseph, I reckon.
And mate, you mentioned Joseph, but Wright, one of your Brumbies boys, he's just every game he seems to be getting better and better, and there's seems to be plenty of wings that the boys could use, but Wright could also be a bit of a superstar this series, couldn't he?
Yeah, he's good. Anything like counter-attack, as long as he just plays on instinct, which you see when he's comfortable, he's a footballer, if someone gives him a detailed plan, just says, okay, only if you can carry to the 40 that you do that, or you kick from here. If you just let him play, he's strong through the hips. He's a great mover. He's a lot quicker, I think, than people give him credit for, his ability just to skip through gaps. So, I think he's going to be a big one for us. Obviously, he needs to learn, I know Righty very well, but just that catch pass. He threw 2 forward pass against the Fijians. So, it's not gridiron anymore. We got to tell him that he's just got to finish those things off. But, yeah, he's a great player. We've got so many talented players in that back line that if we can get some type of dominance up front, then I think our boys will finish it off.
Well, mate, thank you so much for joining the aftermatch.
No worries.
We'll leave you to it, and we're all in on the 2-1. I've actually got it 3-0 at the TAB, but I've got decent odds from that. So 2-1, I'll cash out early if we do get
Oh, you won't need to cash out. You'll be right.